Hello everyone, welcome to the Crypto Intel channel. Today we'll conduct a technical analysis of the KASPA coin and also highlight key price levels that we should use as reference points. Before we start the video, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and click the bell icon so you can always stay up to date on what's happening in the market. It takes you literally a second, but for me it's motivation to improve the quality and level of the videos on the channel. We have a lot to discuss, so let's get started right away. KASPA's current price structure is forming in a zone of medium-term uncertainty, where the market is caught between an accumulation phase and a continuation of the downtrend. The price is holding within a range of approximately 0.033 to 0.036, which coincides with key historical support and liquidity levels. The main feature of the current chart is a narrowing of volatility. Following a sharp decline from the 2024 high, the market has entered a sideways phase with lower highs and relatively stable lows. This forms a structure resembling an accumulation pattern or a triangle, where energy gradually builds up ahead of a breakout. Looking at the moving averages, the price remains below the 5100 and 200 MA, indicating that overall bearish pressure persists. This means that any current rise is either a local bounce or the start of a reversal that has not yet been confirmed. Meanwhile, the RSI is in the neutral zone around 50, indicating neither overbought nor oversold conditions. This is typical for the phase preceding a move. The market is not overheated, but it is not giving a clear signal either. Now, the key levels. Support zone, 0.0345 to 0.0330 to 0.0300. This is the main range where the price has repeatedly found buyers. A break below the 0.033 level would open the way for a deeper correction down to 0.025, where the next strong historical liquidity cluster is located. Resistance zone, 0.0370 to 0.0390 to 0.0400. It is precisely this area that is currently holding the price. This is the zone where sellers are concentrated and where local moving averages are located. A breakout of this zone will be the first signal of a structural change. From a price action perspective, the market is forming a series of higher lows but is unable to make new highs. This creates pressure that typically culminates in a breakout. The key point is the narrowing of the range. The longer the price remains within a narrow range, the stronger the breakout will be. Now for the scenarios. Bullish scenario. If the price consolidates above 0.038 to 0.040, a breakout from the consolidation occurs. In this case, targets shift to 0.045 local liquidity level, 0.050 to 0.058 strong resistance zone. A retest of higher ranges is possible if volume increases. This scenario would require an increase in volume and a break below key moving averages. Bearish scenario. If the price loses the 0.033 level, the structure breaks down. In this case, the market could quickly move toward 0.030, 0.027 to 0.025, the main accumulation zone from the previous cycle. This would mean that the current consolidation is merely a pause before the downtrend resumes. Neutral scenario. The most likely short-term outcome is a continuation of the sideways movement. The price will move within the range until a catalyst emerges. If we examine the price action in more detail, it becomes clear that the KASPA market is not merely forming a sideways trend, but rather a zone of liquidity equilibrium where positions are being redistributed among market participants. Such zones often precede strong price movements, as stop orders, limit orders, and market expectations accumulate within the range. From a liquidity perspective, the upper boundary of the 0.038 to 0.040 range represents an area where short sellers' stop orders and liquidity for a breakout are concentrated. This means that upon a breakout above this level, the market could gain momentum due to liquidations, not just organic demand. At the same time, the lower boundary of 0.033 to 0.032 holds long liquidity. A break to the downside would lead to the opposite effect, cascading liquidations and a rapid move toward deeper levels. Thus, the current structure is a classic squeeze zone between two liquidity pools. Looking at the volume profile, we can see that the highest concentration of volume is in the middle of the range. This indicates that the market considers the current price fair in the short term. But as soon as the price moves beyond this balance, the search for a new value zone begins. Now, regarding momentum dynamics. Previous attempts at an uptrend showed weak momentum. This suggests that buyers are not yet ready to sustain the price above resistance levels. However, a key point is the weakening of selling pressure. Each subsequent pullback becomes less aggressive, creating underlying upward pressure. This can be interpreted as a gradual depletion of supply. Looking at the candlestick structure, there is a noticeable decrease in lower shadows and tighter closes. This indicates that sellers are losing control near local lows. Now, the key aspect is the time spent in the range. The longer the price remains in a narrow range, the higher the probability of a strong breakout. This is because the market is building up energy. In the current case, KASPA has already spent enough time consolidating for the next impulse to be significant. However, the direction of the impulse has not yet been confirmed. From the perspective of the higher timeframe structure, the market remains within a descending channel where every recovery faces resistance. Therefore, to reverse the trend, it is necessary not only to break through the level, but also to consolidate above it and form a new structure of highs and lows. Key reversal signals: a break above 0.040, consolidation above, formation of a higher high, holding the pullback above 0.037. Only if these conditions are met can we speak of a transition to a bullish phase. Now let's consider a more aggressive scenario. If the market makes a false breakout to the upside and quickly returns to the range, this creates a trap for buyers. In this case, the probability of a downward move increases sharply since liquidity has already been gathered. This is one of the most dangerous scenarios, as it is accompanied by sharp price movements. On the other hand, the opposite scenario is also possible: a false breakout to the downside. The price drops below 0.033, gathers liquidity, and then quickly returns to the range and begins to rise. Such a scenario often marks the beginning of a strong upward momentum, as the market cleanses itself of weak positions. Now, regarding volatility, the current low volatility is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it is the phase preceding a widening of the range. Historically, similar periods for KASPA have already led to sharp movements. That is precisely why the key strategy in such conditions is not to predict the direction, but to track the reaction to key levels. Now, regarding the short-term structure, on lower time frames, a micro-trend is forming with attempts at growth, but without confirmation. This indicates buyer interest, but insufficient strength. If this micro-trend continues to develop and breaks through local levels, it could transition into a larger movement. Now for the final picture. KASPA is in a state of liquidity balance, volatility compression, uncertain structure. This is not weakness, this is preparation. And the key point here is not the current price, but the range boundaries. As long as the market remains within the range, it's a game of waiting. But as soon as a breakout occurs, the move will most likely be fast, directional, and accompanied by increased volatility. It is precisely this breakout that will determine whether the downtrend will continue or whether a new growth phase will begin. And friends, don't forget to leave your thoughts on the KASPA coin in the comments below this video, what your plans, hopes, and expectations are for it. The best and most engaging comment will be featured in the next video. Just a reminder, friends, informational and news videos are posted on the channel every day, so you won't get bored here. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you're always up to date on all the latest news. And if you liked this video, please support me with a like. Your like is my motivation. Thanks to everyone for watching, and see you next time.